Welcome to episode 23 of the Danso Pitch. I am your host, Charles Danso, joined by the legend, the man, the myth himself, Ramy, our Chief Marketing Officer. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I'm feeling refreshed on this Thursday. Had a tough week and been looking forward to getting on the podcast and just bringing another episode with content for these people, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been a long, feels like long time, but even though it's been just a couple of weeks, but obviously with summer and everything going on, we're trying to get as much as we can in before that second wave takes us back inside, right?
Yeah, true, man. It's been like what, 4 months now, 5 months now of being home. 5 months now of being home.
It's crazy.
At least for me, I know you went back in, right?
Yeah, I went back in the trenches. Unfortunately, my job, they don't respect us, so they said I got to go back in. So yeah, but definitely, just trying to enjoy as much as I can, much like you. I've been loving you. You've been enjoying yourself.
Oh, man.
You've been hiking, fucking boating. Like, what else? What can't you do, sir? I think Will Smith food.
Work hard, play hard, right? Work hard, play hard, man. That's what we do. So now I've been living, trying to, keep life with a level of normalcy. But hey, what can you do?
I agree, man. Yeah, but definitely, I'm excited to basically be on this podcast with you, this episode with you. I feel like this is going to be a great podcast. So I first want to give a shout out to our Spotify as well as Apple Podcast listeners and YouTube viewership, and also give a shout out to our 9-to-5 workers, because this is for you. In whatever facet that you work in, whatever occupation that you do, this is what we call honing your skills. This is what basically we're going to center today's episode around. I know we always touch upon the business owners, but not everybody's a business owner. And even ourselves, we work 9-to-5 jobs outside of us working on Danso Financial Group. So I think the skills that we're going to highlight in today's episode is something that anybody can do, anybody can learn from, even if you're on your way to work in terms of coming out of school. If you're currently working or you're looking to even retire, you can pass this on to anybody that may be able to, just kind of pick up on a lot of these skills. Now, the skills that I kind of want to highlight, Ramy, and I'm going to bring you in, is the soft skills. Now, soft skills are personal attributes that enable someone to interact effectively and harmoniously with other people. So that basically means that for a lot of people that you work with, your coworkers, your managers, these are skill sets that allows you to have an easier time working with them, allows you to have a trust with them, allows you to build skills with them. These skills are critical thinking skills, collaboration skills, leadership skills, creativity, customer service, and time management. I know we hear that a lot of times, but these are things that we're going to touch upon. So Ramy, I guess I'm going to start off by asking you this. What do you feel like are some of the key essentials with having these soft skills? Do you feel that all of these are important, or do you feel like only some of these are important to take away from?
Well, the more the better, I would say. I mean, soft skills, like as you said, are more of the characteristics of the person, the personality traits, and really what it is it shapes how a person works and how they work with others, works on themselves and works on others. And most of the time that is the deciding factor in, an interview or in a hiring process. The hard skills, which is the technical side, get you in the door, but the soft skills are really what drive you to close that deal, to get that job. So, effective communication, very key. Teamwork, as I mentioned, but also on your own, problem solving ability, critical thinking. You always see those qualifications, little bullet points on hiring pages. It's like needs critical thinking ability, time management. Those are almost standard for any job you go out into the business world, or into the professional world. You need to have your soft skills as refined as possible, because that's really who you are as a person, because anybody can have your hard skills. Soft skills, you can differentiate yourself.
Yeah, and just to kind of add on to, for our audience, what Ramy's kind of articulating through some of these skill sets. Now, I don't want to literally give a book definition for each one, but I do kind of want to go through each one. He mentioned critical thinking. I think that's one of the key essentials of working a 9 to 5 job. I've worked out of my going on almost 6 years, 7 years in the financial services world. I've worked in basically Wall Street for pretty much my whole tenure coming out of college. I've been out of college going on almost 6 years. And so I've been able to work various jobs in terms of full-time jobs and contract jobs. And one thing I've learned, and in terms of being promoted on each level to now being a business associate and being a team lead myself, is critical thinking. A lot of times I had to be an individual that had to figure out a lot of things, a lot of projects that I was working on. How can I do this an easier way? What can I do that could differentiate myself from my team members, where my managers can see and say, okay, this is a better way that we can go about. This is a way that he can solve it a little better. Why you're not as dependent on your manager or somebody to always kind of hold your hand. That's where critical thinking comes into play. How you can make your job easier, how you can make the job easier for your managers and senior management as well. So I think for a lot of people that could be listening, that could be working in just various roles, you could be a nurse, you could be a businessman, you could be an engineer, you can work in fast food, retail. Critical thinking is basically, for me, is like, it's just the ability which encompasses analytical skills, how you can think quickly on your feet, how you can make your work a lot easier, and also your colleagues and your management's work easier, which basically means you do things effectively. The less mistakes, the better. You agree?
Absolutely, man. I think you hit the nail on the head. But critical thinking is, as you mentioned, it's one of the more basic and standard things you need in any role. It doesn't matter what position, job you could possibly think of. When you get hired for something, critical thinking comes into play because your job description only tells you so much. It can't account for unforeseen circumstances or things that may come up in your day-to-day operations of your work. Critical thinking in those moments could really be the differentiation between a massive failure and a crisis averted, in an extreme circumstance. But on a day-to-day, it could be, how efficient you are and how you're able to deal with problems. Because, one of the worst things you can do is lose your company money or cause some kind of problem, so critical thinking ability is, you got to be loose, you got to be able to think on your feet, and that's a really big attribute for any role that you're in. You got to be able to problem solve.
Yeah, and as Ramy just kind of articulated, for me, what I would definitely say is just seeing the two sides of that. Trust me, for anybody that's listening, the less mistakes, the better. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. Yes, no, you're not going to be perfect. We all understand that. I myself, there's times where obviously I don't get everything right, but I try to mitigate those risks because of the fact that a lot of times when you're going to job interviews, when they ask you certain questions, how you answer it determines how you whether you get the job or whoever else gets the job. Critical thinking plays a factor in that. When you're doing your day-to-day work, in terms of how you perform, how you accurately kind of solve those problems. Like I said, I'm just using financial services because I work in banking. So in terms of whatever data that I'm kind of working with, the less mistakes, where I'm saving JP, which is the company I work for, more money, that's something that's a benefit. If you're a problem where you're losing more money in terms of making more and more mistakes, when end of the year comes around, when your mid-year review comes around, when you want to get promoted, all of that plays a factor. Whether your manager tells you or not, it all counts into play. So because you're going against other individuals that want that position, whether it be a manager, whether it be a senior role, whether it be just more money, if you just want to get more money out of your title, there's always somebody else that wants what you have. So what are you going to do? What are you going to utilize in terms of to help benefit yourself and the company overall? Because obviously they always care about you making more money for the business. So yeah.
As soon as you cause more problems than you solve, you become expendable. So use those critical thinking, refine that skill.
Exactly. And just I do also want to Ramy, bring in collaboration, because that was one of the skill sets that we also mentioned. And I'll kind of do a two for collaboration and leadership. I'll use those two into one. For one thing, is collaboration is being able to work in various teams and being able to work in various different personalities. I think that's very key. Obviously, Ramy, I'm sure that you've worked with some individuals that you didn't necessarily like as much as some others. But end of the day, you can't pick and choose who you work with. What you can do is pretty much work together to figure out what the end goal is, and which is basically you doing your projects, you doing your day-to-day work. Because that's another thing that when you're going to a job, I believe your manager is going to look at how's your personality when you're in an interview. What are you tentative, or are you easily able to translate a lot of your skill sets? Can you talk? Can you help make the interviewer feel at ease? If you work in your job, do you make your coworkers feel at ease? Are you dependable? Can you work in various groups? I've worked with various individuals where they've had people come and complain about them because they said this person's difficult to work with.
Oh man.
And 9 out of 10 times, if they've been working in that same position for 20 years, and those are the people that said that, oh, there's a difficult to work with, I'm pretty confident it's because they're not able to work with people. So that's why they probably wouldn't get moved up. And
yeah. And if you work if the line of work you're in or looking to be in involves teams and any sort of, organizational structure where you have to work collaboratively with others, collaboration and how well you perform in those situations is one of, I would say besides your qualifications, checking all the boxes, collaboration is probably the biggest thing in an interview. Is they're thinking, how well will this guy or this woman fit into our operation? How smooth will they be? Will they, slow us up? Will they be easy to work with? And that's honestly, if you don't work well with others, you better find a way to finesse in the interview, because that's usually the deciding factor, is how likable you are and how flexible and able to adapt to different situations, just like critical thinking.
I agree, yeah. And another thing I'll just add to that as well, Ramy, is also with your leadership skills. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with collaboration, because of the fact is, are you somebody also that can help teach a new employee when they come in? Sometimes your manager could say, hey, let's say you work in retail, you work in whatever, if you work in healthcare, whatever the job description that you do, the job title that you do, your manager can say, hey, I have this new person I just hired. Can you help teach them, show them how we do this, how we show them how we do X, Y, and Z. So that's also helpful, because your manager also is going to look at the fact that, okay, whatever you taught this person, that's a reflection of what you've learned. And if that employee isn't able to get it, isn't able to kind of come along as natural and as quickly as they would like, because obviously management always say take your time, but they really want you to kind of speed things up so they can get you going. Yeah, so that's something to also pay attention to. So I think for those listening, if you're someone that doesn't necessarily like teaching, I would say look at the benefit of saying that this is something that is also another job that you have to do, that your manager is looking at you to complete successfully. So I think that's something that I would definitely recommend for those. Always give a helping hand. Everybody receives information different. So another thing I would stress is patience. Everybody learns differently. Some people learn a lot quicker. Some people, it takes a little bit of time, but you always want to be patient. You always want to be helpful. And obviously you do enough where you obviously have the work to show when the time comes to your manager or whoever you're going to present to kind of get the promotion or more money, whatever you're looking for. But you also want to help others, because at the end of the day, you're not always going to work in that position. You're not always going to work in that title. So if you are going to be in that company for however long, or even if you leave the company, it's a reflection of you, because you are teaching this individual how to do certain things, certain skills that you've learned coming up as well. Ramy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if you're lacking in leadership, and you're in a position to lead others, your output better match whatever quotas you need to meet, because at the end of the day, if you're a leader, your team has to produce a product or some kind of output, and if the output is lacking, that stems from leadership. So it's going to be a reflection of you at your work or whatever position you're in. If you're not able to produce the desired output and lead your people, it's going to be a direct reflection of you, and you're not going to be in that position much longer. So part of leadership is collaboration, learning the people around you, being able to motivate and increase productivity. That's honestly, in the workplace, it's all about productivity, and a good leader, finds ways to mesh and make the operation move smoother. So If you're not teaching, at least try motivating. But any sort of collaboration would just look like you boosting the people around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think I have any more to say with that. I mean, as he's articulated, those are all pieces of information that for the viewer I would definitely take away from. And the last point that I would like to also mention is creativity. I think that's also a key. Just finding different ways to do your job, different ways to, bring more ideas to your manager, to leadership, because they're always looking for people who can innovate, people that can do things a lot faster. If you are able to do things at a faster rate out of the olden ways that they've been doing it, that usually helps you get a lot noticed a lot quicker. A lot of people that are in these senior positions have done it because of the fact they're able to figure out a problem fast, or they were able to figure out how to do projects a lot quicker. So I would definitely recommend being creative, just coming up with new ideas, and don't be hesitant because you feel like because you're in a certain position you can't voice yourself, because you can. I think that if you got the position, there's a reason why, that your manager or whoever hired you saw something in you. So you should be able to bring that creative side, that idea. If you have it, just bring it to the forefront. If It gets heard, it gets heard. If it doesn't, hey, at least you tried. But you wouldn't know until you try, and that's something I definitely recommend for those listening.
Yeah, creativity is what really sets you apart. And if you're just doing whatever they tell you to do, they being, the powers that be above you, if you're just doing, you become, again, expendable. You're just another piece in their machine. Mm-hmm. So what really sets you apart is your ability to differentiate yourself, be creative. And it doesn't have to be like, the word creativity doesn't have to mean, you're an artist or anything. It just means you could be an accountant who, pretty rigid, you got to follow the book, and still be creative by finding ways to speed up operations that exist, as Charles said. So any job can use a little bit of a creative touch will push you and differentiate you more than anybody else around you. And at a time like this, where job security is a little, shaky for a lot of people, it would be imperative that you set yourself apart from the people around you.
Agreed. Yeah. So we've just, and right there, guys, we've just highlighted soft skills for you, but we also do want to touch on hard skills. Now, hard skills are teachable and measurable abilities. Now, this can be written abilities, this could be verbal abilities, coding, data management is very important. That's learning your Excel. I think these are all key pieces that we can all take away from. Now, I do want to also touch upon a few of these things. Data management, as I mentioned, a lot of jobs do it now. Ramy, I'm sure you do it as well. This is just being able to measure a lot of the information that's being presented in the type of role that you're in. If you're able to use Excel, that's always a plus. If you're able to use Access, that's always a plus. Mm-hmm. And especially when you go in these job interviews, they look for people that already are versed in these. I know that a lot of people put it down that they know Excel and different things of that nature. That's fine. The point is getting your foot in the door. But a lot of companies now offering classes even through their company, where it's obviously paid for already. It's already given through your company because you're hired through them. I recommend definitely taking these Excel classes, taking classes like these where you're able to learn how to pull information, how to hold data, how to do Excel formulas, because this is such a benefit for you. Trust me. If you're able to do it, if you're able to be dependable, where people can go to you, only exposes you to more people, the more important people, which is most important. You want to have people that have titles, because those are the ones that are going to vouch for you when it's time to get promoted, when it's time to get more pay, especially nowadays where people, where they say genders are getting paid, in terms of males get paid more. If you're in a minority, you get paid less. So having all these skills, it's like, it's just an extension of your resume, just doing it in the forefront in your workplace. So definitely take these classes if they're being offered. If you want to even take it at a community college, if you just want to take it online, right now they have so many classes. They have Coursera. I know that's a class that's free. You can take Excel classes, different type of classes like that online. I think LinkedIn offers Excel classes even. So
yeah, I think they have some free education courses on there.
Yeah. So these are all just things that, I'm just mentioning. Ramy, do you have something you want to add to that?
I mean, the main difference between hard skills and soft skills are like, hard skills are usually something that you can go out and obtain by, you know, performing a certain action. Like you can gain the knowledge by doing a certain class, or working in a certain place will give you certain experience. These are hard skills. You know, education or training is really the key for the hard skills, and this is really what pads up your resume. Besides actual work experience, these are tangible skills. For as Charles said, a lot of people, you know, oh, you always see Excel on there. Yeah. If you're still in college, pay attention to those Excel classes and Access classes, because it really goes a long way in the workplace.
Was it is it called, was it BITM or ITM or something?
BITM, that's what it was at the University at Albany. But
yeah, I think,
you know, it's easy to disregard those classes, but in the like, trust me, they come up in the workplace, and it'll only add to you. So I suggest, you know, gaining. Those are things you can actually go out and gain, put a tangible number on it. Like if I do 10 classes, I will gain the hard skill of, you know, data mining or whatever it might be. So go out and get those to add real value to yourself for your resume.
Yeah, and even with that, I also want to touch upon in terms of leadership skills. I think that's something that we did touch upon for a soft skill, but for the hard skill, that would be verbal communication. Verbal communication, I recommend Toastmasters. My company offers Toastmasters. Various other companies offers Toastmasters. If you're in college, they have Toastmasters.
Well, what is Toastmasters?
Yeah, I'm going to explain it. Yes. Yeah, I was going to explain it. Yeah. So basically, Toastmasters is like a club meeting. You practice giving prepared speeches as well as brief impromptu presentations. So which is basically known as table topics. So at Toastmasters meeting is a learn by doing workshop in which participants hone their leadership skills in a no pressure atmosphere. So basically you have to you can write any type of story, any type of setting. You go up in front of people that you know, you may work with, you may just, you know, be taking a class online. Maybe that's Toastmasters, or even if you're in school, people you may go to classes with. So you present that story. And a lot of people may think that they're not afraid to speak in front of a crowd of people, but things change real fast when you actually are doing it. And I had to find that out. I did Toastmasters myself when I was in college, and I thought that was the greatest experience ever because of the fact just being able to speak in front of people, being able to practice my public speaking, even certain things they teach you, like certain hand gestures you may do that you don't even realize you do, certain ways you talk, like when you talk like this. That's something that, you know, they kind of just give you just good feedback. And like they said, it's a no pressure atmosphere. This isn't something that's like graded or something. It's just something that you're doing just to help better yourself. Now, in the first job that I did, I just went to a few of the classes that they offered through my company, and there are a lot of vice presidents there. There are senior vice presidents. So don't think that this is just for somebody that just is coming in. There's people that are in leadership positions that have done Toastmasters, that continue to do Toastmasters, because you can always just get better in your public speaking. And that really helps you during your time to negotiate when you want better pay, time to negotiate when you're, you know, going into a new position. You don't feel as apprehensive to speak. You're able to articulate yourself a lot quicker, a lot easier, and a lot more comfortable. And if you're comfortable, it makes the person that's asking you the questions to also feel comfortable. When you feel nervous, people can tell you're nervous. So it makes them question, like, okay, if he's nervous already, he or she's nervous already, then how are they going to be like when they actually get the position or whatever you're trying to get? So, yeah. So I think that's something I'll take away.
I got to look into that. That sounds really interesting. I actually hadn't heard about Toastmasters before, but that's great that your company offers it. Really take advantage of that. But there, you were highlighting verbal communication and that being a hard skill set, and that's absolutely true. And one of the more common ways that shows up on resumes or in the hiring process is the use of many languages. If you know many languages and you're bilingual, trilingual, the more languages the better. That each one of those is a hard skill that's adding to you, and that's one of the more you could be born with that hard skill set, if you were taught that from birth, but definitely use that to your advantage. That is a verbal hard skill, and some ways that you can go out. If you only know one language, or you know two or three and want to learn another, there's some good programs that are even free nowadays for you to learn. There's some apps that you can download for free, such as Duolingo. I know that's a popular one. And Babbel, Babbel, like both of those are some free, really good apps that I've heard people have learned languages, even my own friends. So add those skills to your skill set.
Yeah, definitely. And I would definitely recommend, like he said, taking any type of classes like that just to brush up on your verbal communication, because people do look at, especially your hiring manager, your hiring party, for whatever company that you're in, if you can speak multiple language, if you can even understand a different language, that helps you. Because I've dealt with just different projects where they literally give me the information in French, and I don't speak a lick of French. But I have a colleague that speaks French, so they can easily translate it for me, or speak Spanish. Spanish is a very popular one, especially in the United States. I've dealt with clients that literally don't speak a word of English, just speak straight Spanish. But I did pay attention in college when I took a few of those Spanish classes, so just certain words I was able to pick up on. My manager was even impressed because of the fact, like, they're like, okay, so at least you can you may not understand it fully, but the keywords you understand, which is important. So that's just something that I would definitely take away
thinking.
from. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I will highlight in just verbal communication. Now, we did highlight coding. Coding is so essential right now. Every type of business does coding. Now, coding doesn't necessarily mean that you're building the next Facebook or the next Amazon. That's not what we mean. We mean, like, can you help build or help break down data? Data could be in terms of financials for your company. Data could be in terms of, even if you want to just do a work log, you can do that in terms of who's kind of in your group that you work in, or whatever the case is. So that's where data management comes into play. Coding. Bill Gates has notoriously known to be the coder of the 21st century, because he said he's been coding since 11, and that helped him build probably one of the biggest companies in the history of mankind, in Microsoft, just from learning how to manage data, how to build data sets, how to basically code. Now, what a lot of people now are taking, I know in the financial services world, I recommend, is called Python. Now, Python is a general purpose coding language, which means that unlike HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, for those that may not know, I recommend looking at those definitions as well. It can be used for other data types of programming, such as software development, as I mentioned, besides web development. So software development deals with, like I said, if let's say that your manager is like, we have all this information from all these companies that we're kind of working with these clients, but there's too much like information in terms of the transaction that they've done in a 10-year period. I wish I knew somehow to break this down. Voila! Enter Ramy and Charles, because they know how to do Python. So they're able to break this down a lot quicker. So right off the bat, if you're able to learn Python, I'm taking that class right now. Like I said, it's offered through Coursera. Google offers it. I pay like $30 a month, but it's worth it, because now I'm going to put it on my resume. So the next job, or if I'm looking for a promotion, I'm able to highlight that I know how to manage data sets, because like I said, that's the future that we're in right now. Bill Gates was a futurist because he was promoting understanding how to manage data. Yeah, how to code. He was saying that that's going to be so essential. We didn't listen 10 years ago, but now look where we are, where the biggest companies are tech companies such as Apple, Microsoft, Google, whatever the case is. And they're looking for people that know how to manage data, how to code, how to, just break down data sets. So I think programming and coding is definitely one of the most in-demand skill sets and hiring fields right now. I would definitely say that, because the world is moving to more digital, more technologically based world. Everything's going to be through computers and screens in the future. So you better learn how to code or fall behind with the times.
maybe we're not at that point yet, but in the next few decades, I can see that becoming like a must that people need to learn from way younger. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And like just Ramy kind of articulated, excuse me. If you guys don't believe me, I want you guys, if after you listen to this episode, just go online, look at any job description. You're probably going to find any type of field that you're in right now that they're looking for somebody that knows how to manage data sets, someone that's versed in coding, knows some type of programming skill to utilize for the position that they're looking for. Because a lot of these companies now, they understand that we're in a technological era. So the manual stuff that we used to do where you usually had to write it in, that's a thing in the past. So right now they're looking for people that know how to build just data sets that can kind of break down any type of information that your company or your manager may be looking for in a quicker, easier way. So that's very important. I recommend for those that are interested in that, you should be interested in that. Even now, I'm going to change my what I said. You should be interested in that because I think that just adding that type of skill set, even if you take an hour or two a day just to learn it, is going to benefit you in the long run. Because if you know how to manage data, you can go in any field, you can get any type of position you want now. I promise you that. So definitely try to learn it. I'm taking the classes right now. Like I said, I do it through Coursera. It's just $30 a month. I do it through Google just to get the professional certificate. But you can do it for free too. So, I'm just giving you that game for those that are listening, just to kind of take away from. But I think for now, Ramy, what do you think? I think we've given a good breakdown as to. Oh wait, we forgot the most important part: time management. Time management.
Pop quiz: is that a hard skill set or a soft skill set?
I'm going to go with. That's a hard skill set, no?
I would put it as a soft skill set.
Soft skill set, huh?
It's how you work and how you operate. So you want to touch on time management? Time management is like outside of the professional realm in life in general. It's like one of the most essential things you can have because there's all these sayings. Time is money, and you don't get your time back at all. Every single thing you choose to do in life has an opportunity cost because it costs you your time. So you want to be efficient with your time because the more you can do in the least amount of time adds value to you. You don't want to be the last person to produce your reports. You don't want to be submitting things at the deadline. You want to properly time manage yourself to set yourself up for success. And part of that is, properly planning, using calendars, reminders. Bro, I talk to Siri like all the time. She's my best friend because anytime Charles wants to talk to me at 4, hey Siri, remind me at 3:40. Oh, look, she just responded to me. So use reminders, time management, however you need, but do not fall behind because time is essential.
Yeah, definitely. Like what Ramy just literally said, when your boss gives you an assignment, are you able to complete it to his or her liking in the time frame allotted? So that's where basically time management could be in the work setting, because of the fact, like he said, you may think that you have all the time in the world, but if they say that they want something due on Wednesday, you should have it at least completed by like Tuesday morning, because of the fact it just gives you that time to just go over anything. Because again, that also falls into what we articulated with making the least amount of mistakes. When you wait till last minute to do things, you rush things. Obviously, we've all been through school, for the audience listening as well. When you usually wait to do something last minute, if you're studying for an exam, you usually don't do as well as if you took time to actually go through it, understand it step by step, as opposed to just waiting till the last couple of days just to cram it. It worked in high school. It doesn't work in real life and in college. So,
I was like, this takes me back to college, but I can't do that anymore. If I procrastinate on my projects at work or something like that,
exactly,
I get chewed out.
Exactly. So, and this is something where you actually are getting paid. This is something that you're doing it as a career. So you also want to be mindful of that for the audience listening in. But again, we wanted to present these soft and hard skills so that anybody that's listening could just take it away from, to understand that this is in your company. These type of programs, these type of learned traits, you can take different classes for free now. You can just speak to different people. You can speak to us. We give you that game. We wanted to utilize this platform just to kind of express that, hey, This is important, especially right now where a lot of people are losing jobs. A lot of people don't have these the jobs that they want. So if you do have a job, or you are looking for a job, if you get it or you are in it, brush up on your skills, because we don't, like, as this pandemic has shown, things could change at the flip of a switch. You may think you may be in a company one day, the next day you're looking for a job. That showcases that you can be expendable, whether it be a la Mother Nature or just your boss feeling like you're not beneficial to the company anymore. You just let go right off the bat. But if you do have the skill sets, if you do have the communication skills, if you do have the written skills as needed, you're able to maneuver, and it gets a little bit harder to get rid of you because of the fact you know so many things. You're able to do different things at a faster rate that helps benefit you. So I definitely would say, for the audience members listening in, take away what we said today in today's episode. We just want to present something different for you guys, because I know we always talk about entrepreneurs being their own boss, which is great, but it starts from working in 9-to-5 setting. A lot of people that before they started Fortune 500 companies, they worked in the setting. Jeff Bezos worked in the investment bank. Warren Buffett worked in the investment bank. Who else? Jay-Z was a vice president or something at Rockefeller before he took over and started his own thing at Rock Nation. So I think you have to start off slowly before you get to the top. So that's what we're trying to say. And not everybody's going to want to be a CEO. But you do want to get more money. At least I hope everybody want to get some more money. You want to do different things.
I don't think anybody ever said no to more money.
Exactly. So
maybe Dave Chappelle, but
maybe, yeah. Yeah, but even so, it's like, you still have different skill sets that can help make it a little bit easier when you come to the negotiation table. And that's my takeaway. Ramy, what do you got for them?
Hell yeah, man. That all we're doing here is trying to enlighten you on how to boost your value, because at the end of the day, companies, if you're working for somebody, they view you as a commodity more often than not. You are what you produce at that company, and these hard and soft skills adding more to you will boost your value and your worth. And at the end of the day, what we're looking for with these skills are to be the best candidate we can be for any job, or if you're already hired for a job, to have the best job security you can have, because as Charles said, nothing is guaranteed in this life, and you damn sure don't want to be the person getting cut because you were lacking in one skill that another person had. So there's plenty of resources out there now to add skills to you for free, or maybe not free, but from the comfort of your home. Charles is learning how to code while he works in banking. You can learn a brand new language at the palm of your hand. If your skill set is small right now, look at yourself in the mirror and ask what's up, because all the resources are at your hands. And you also got the Danso Pitch and the Danso Financial Group pitching you these ideas. So please take advantage of it and boost your value.
Yeah, definitely. And just the last bit I'll add to what Ramy said is, I know a lot of us, I would say myself, because I even listen to and I also read a lot of the episodes that's being posted, a lot of posts that we do on our Instagram page, our social media pages all together, because I feel like this is information that's very valuable. So even if you don't want to take a class, I recommend just reading a post on the Danso Financial Group pages or listening to the Danso Pitch, because you can take away a lot of these ideas, a lot of these information that's being presented to you. But I definitely recommend taking any type of class. If it's offered to you, just register, just do it, because at the end of the day, this is how you get more money. This is how you get more of the promotion, more of the workload that you're looking for right now. So definitely take advantage. And that's what I just wanted to say. Thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. This episode, if you're listening to it, it will be dropped by Saturday. So definitely take away once you're listening. Give it to your girl, give it to your moms, whoever. Just give it to somebody, whoever want to listen. So
like and share, definitely spread the wealth of knowledge.
Thank you. Yeah, so definitely tune in. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Danso Financial Group, also at Danso Pitch and Danso Business. Thank you. Enjoy.